The awe-inspiring battles of thousands of men and creatures lining up ready to battle in epic large-scale clashes between giant armies and movie scenes. Check out the top ancient medieval fantasy massive battles in movies, curated by Movie Spotlights. I bet you'll never guess what the number one pick is.
What is that? It's the prince.
At number 10, who better than to mount a revolt against the corrupt English crown than the crusader Robin Hood, who is Taron Egerton, as an evil sheriff of Nottingham has seized Robin's family estate. And of course Robin Hood and Little John, who is Jamie Foxx, steal from the rich and give to the poor in this contemporary version. See the awesome work of real-life Legolas, who trained the cast to hit incoming arrows, shoot and hit 3 marks whilst jumping in flight in battle, and the riot scene where the clans clash, throwing firebombs as they steal bags and bags of money. Our number 9 is the memorable opening battle in King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, which almost makes up for his lackluster plot, as we see a flurry of magical giant 300-foot-tall elephants charge and assault on the sprawling Camelot as soldiers implode as the elephants destroy parts of Camelot, as we see sorcerer King Mordred throwing magical attacks on the castle gate. The story centers on the betrayal of Vortigern, played by Jude Law, who takes the crown for himself and robs young Arthur of his birthright, who is Charlie Hunnam, with no clue who he truly is. Of course, fate leads him to the Excalibur sword and seduces him to pull the sword from the stone, to embrace his true destiny and fulfill the role of the legendary fighter and leader he was born to be, knowing he has to face his uncle to end Vortigern's reign. In the epic battle, we see fiery flames coming from his uncle as Arthur gets slammed around. He is unable to match the power of King Vortigern until he gets an awakening from his father in his dreams after blacking out. His now shining sword he wields is able to defeat King Vortigern no matter what fireballs he throws. What happens in Warcraft: The Beginning? At number 8, the evil orcs rear their ugly heads as they invade planet Azeroth via a magical portal opened by powerful warlock Golden, played by Daniel Wu. As the orcs rush in, the king of Azeroth, Lane Rin, summoned magical help from the guardian Triswell Medivh for protection over his kingdom, as we witness an enormous clash between the humans and the orcs. The orcs coordinate, sounding a horn to attack. Orc warrior Duaratan, played by Toby Kebbell, forges an alliance with the humans to overthrow corrupt Orc Gul'dan, the true evil behind the war. Who will win? Will the horde of orcs take over Azeroth in the biggest battle, or will the human alliance stop them in time to return their planet to peace? 7 sees the classic David vs. Goliath. Chris Pine stars as King Robert the Bruce as an outlaw king, showing his true bravery, and raises an army of Scottish fighters to rebel to defeat the larger English army, in earning his name as a true outlaw. The stunning reality of the film, an engaging story which climaxes with a massive battle of Loudoun, where we see the epic defeat of the English arm as the Scottish army crushes its competition, as the English knights, imposing army on horses, approach the feeble-looking Scottish army on their feet. We see battle tactics at its best, trapping the foolish English army to dismount their horses in a hurry, placing them on equal footing, and you'll be surprised at who turns out to be the winner. At 6, Matt Damon, who plays William, shows us in the Great Wall, hordes of monstrous creatures are hiding and defending the Great Wall of China. In ancient times, warrior William Garin is imprisoned by Imperial Chinese forces in the European mercenary search for gunpowder. Caught in the middle of a war against an intelligent Beast Queen and her invincible army, William joins forces with Commander Lin Mei to help in the monster invasion to save the last of the human race. As the creatures race towards the wall, Fireballs, arrows, and humanized weapons leap acrobatically headfirst into combat, while the last remaining humans be able to tackle the beast queen and her horde of creatures. Halfway through, in Maleficent 2, the evil mistress, as the complex family ties get in the way between beautiful Elfenna, who is Aurora, and Maleficent, played by Angelina Jolie. It culminates into a battle between manipulative Queen Ingrid of Ulstead with her hidden agenda, and the Dark Phase, as the Queen sets out to destroy the fairies and creatures of the enchanted moors. As the soldiers massacre the Dark Phase until Maleficent swoops in, launching her magical attacks at the castle, channeling her phoenix power. As Maleficent almost kills the Queen, where Aurora appeals to Maleficent's humanity, saving her. But the Queen repays her by firing an arrow at Aurora. Maleficent saves Aurora from being struck, and is instead struck with the arrow in her back, dissolving her into ashes. As Aurora's tears bring Maleficent back to life, reborn into a phoenix. Catching our attention at number 4, it opens as we hear bombing attacks on the castle in Transylvania, as Vlad gives not only his word, but his life. In the levels of darkness, we see thousands of men descend and run into Vlad, played by Luke Evans, the one man who vowed to save his kingdom. As Vlad tells his story to an inhumanely strong and fast humanoid creature, an ancient vampire trapped in the Broken Tooth Mountain, paying the ultimate price in the deal to transform temporarily. As he takes on vulnerability to silver and sunlight, he exchanges this for an insane power, such as super strength, speed, and vision. Who do you think will win? We have Vlad the Impaler, who commands a swarming army of vampire bats, versus the Sultan, played by Dominic Cooper, together with the Ottoman Empire, who threatens Vlad's kingdom, demanding thousands of boys and his very own son. As he loses his bargain and becomes a monster embracing his vampiric powers, he chooses an eternal life of darkness to seek revenge rather than reverting back to human form. 3 sees Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which is Sauron, stronghold in Mordor, which is what author J.R. Tolkien envisaged as the two visions of evil. As the Fellowship continue their journey to destroy that ring, as they start to be consumed by its power. The Battle of Helm's Deep is one of the most epic battles you will see, with an army of orcs and goblins commanded by Sauron, battling it out with the humans, elves, and dwarves. As the castle wall is breached by a suicide bomber orc, the Alliance do everything they can to prevent the invasion. In the battle, they go head-to-head in combat, and you see the army dropping off the bridge as they battle it out, as the Human Alliance retreat deeper into the city, until Gandalf brings reinforcements to defend the city, trampling the orcs. In our penultimate pick, The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies. In this pick, which almost made it to the top of the list, and in this epic Peter Jackson creation being forged to engage in a war, the Kingdom of Erebor, Hobbit Bilbo, who is Martin Freeman in miniature form, uses his courage and wisdom to pull together dueling species, being the dwarves and elves, to battle. As we see them collide in an awesome battle, we witness soldiers marching in uniform alignment, as the intimidating dwarves with their charging goats as they collide. Then there is something even more frightening, as they battle against a massive swarm of orcs and goblin armies, which of course threaten their survival. We see the devastation they cause as they attack, fighting on 2 fronts. While they survive the onslaught of the giant-sized goblin mercenaries. As exciting as that movie is, we have something even better, as the movie spotlights top ancient medieval fantasy massive battles in movies. Please subscribe to Movie Spotlights if you have loved what you have seen so far. What better movie to top The Hobbit than another Peter Jackson creation, being the Lord of the Rings Return of the King, as the Fellowship divides to conquer and destroy the ring. Aragorn is crowned King of Gondor, and he and Gandalf battle it out against Sauron's evil army to take over Minas Tirith. An army of hundreds of thousands prepare for the impending attack, as we see the orcs catapulting boulders, flying ravens as the creatures attack the city, and the trolls enter. and breached the city by brute force, killing all in its path. If you want to see more massive battles, click the screen to see the top ancient massive battle movies.